So hey guys, and welcome back to Budget Nomad, and welcome to Hoi An in Vietnam. Okay, let's get started. So today I'm going to show you how to be a budget nomad in this really touristy town of Hoi An in Vietnam. It is possible to get around this town, not spend too much money, and have a fabulous time. When it comes to accommodation here in Hoi An, one of the most interesting places I found is here, Mad Monkey. They've turned kind of this hostel into like a hotel hostel, like adventure or party kind of hostel, which is really interesting. It's very modern, has all the facilities you want. You know, there's a bar and there's this pool. Very interesting. Now, I'm not saying it's cheap. It's about $30 a night for a room. I think hostels start around $8-9. And there are many choices. You can get hostels down to about $3 or $4. I stopped here, this homestay, and it was basically $10 a night. Pretty reasonable. That's for an air-conditioned room, so $70 a week, which is pretty reasonable, really. Highly recommend stopping some kind of homestay that's kind of in a little bit of a touristy area. As you can see, traffic is a big problem in Hoi An. It's always noisy. It's very difficult to get anywhere. It's really quiet in Hoi An. You're gonna have to pay a lot of money if you want to get complete peace and quiet. If you do want to stay closer to the old town, there's places like this. This one looks pretty nice. You're looking around $20 to $30 a night. You do get some crazy ones at like 50, 60, but just avoid them. There's a lot better value if you just shop around. Especially Agoda. Agoda seem to have some really good value on Vietnam, so I would recommend Agoda, or Booking.com seems the best. Try and avoid Airbnb. They seem to be a rip-off in Vietnam. When it comes to food, there aren't many options. You can go to places like this and you'll probably spend around $100,000, about $5 to $10 per meal. It's still actually very good value for global prices. But if you go into the old town here and you go in the little like eateries, you can get it down to like 50,000, which is essentially $2 per meal. And if you go into the even more of the town, you can probably get it down to about 30,000, which is just over $1. So it depends on where you eat at how much it's going to cost. In terms of food, these are the kind of prices you're going to get. So Hoi An noodle, 50,000, which is $2. Rice pancakes, $2. So basically a lot of this is what you want to look for as well, like pho, which is really nice. It's like their beef noodle soup. You can have it spicy, non-spicy. It's again $2. So these are the prices, and actually quite a touristy area, not right in the old town, but you know, on the outskirts of the old town. So if you walk to the outskirts of the old town, you can get some really good value. So you can get beer and dinner for literally $3, which is really good value. So when it comes to food shopping, I would recommend this place called Moon Milk. They're starting to build a few around the city. There's a new one being built where I am, on the outskirts of the city. They seem to have the largest selection of like Western foods. You can get like blueberries, you know, stuff like that. You can get some good produce that you wouldn't normally get in Vietnam. But I think if you're looking for anything Western or specialised, this is the place to come. So you can see here, beer is only 25k, which is basically $1 a beer, which is pretty cheap. Shots are 56, which is $2, and cocktails are about $3.50. So pretty reasonable, really. If you're really looking to save money, what you want to do is come down the back streets of the old town, get to the outskirts of the old town, come down streets like this, and you'll find like spas and you'll find little food places. That's what I would do. I'd kind of avoid the really touristy places and come down the back streets. That's where you'll find the true gems of food and, you know, services. So when it comes to things to see and do here in Hoi An, there's plenty. Obviously, you can go around the old town, you can go to the beach, but you can also go on a day trip to Mai Son. It's some ancient temples, a bit like ones you see in Cambodia. You can also, obviously, you've got the ancient town. There's also a coconut village you can go, and you can go on one little boats that'll take you on. You could do a day trip to Hue, but I'm actually going to do a separate video about that. There's another place called near Da Nang called Pha Nang Hills, which is this beautiful like view. It's a cable car, the longest in the world. You can also go to an island called Sham Island, which I don't know how much it is, but it's around, I think they charge around $400,000 to $500,000 to go there, about $20. And then you can go to some traditional villages as well as some cooking classes. This is one of the best things you can do. You can come down here to the old town and go shopping. As you can see, there's lots of like places you can get suits and bags and shoes and everything. It is quite big and there's quite a lot to see and do, so it's definitely worth exploring. It'll probably take 2 or 3 hours to get around it. You can also do boat trips up and down the river. Now you can do it in the daytime, but I'd highly recommend doing it at night because it's actually a little bit better. It's all lit up and it really is nice. It's quite a better atmosphere. But as you can see, there's lots and lots of boats. Prices start from around 200,000, so it's pretty reasonable, about $7 or $8. there's also lots of temples. You can learn about the history of Hoi An and stuff, and all the religions and everything. It's really interesting. It's actually a really nice beach here, just as nice as Da Nang. It's not quite as big, but it has all the kind of same features. And one of the best things is they have sun lounges everywhere, right across the front, that you don't really seem to have to pay for. So, as you can see, this beach is very, very big. It is lovely to walk on, although the sand is quite hot, so I would recommend not trying to walk on this sand without shoes or you know, you're going to need some sandals. The sand is incredibly hot. But it is a beautiful beach, and you can come down here. It's very quiet most of the time, although this is only 10 AM in the morning, but it is genuinely very, very quiet most of the time here. It is one of the most fabulous beaches I've ever seen. It's a really calm beach. It's beautiful for swimming, and it does look quite clean, actually. So one thing extra you can do, you can obviously get tattoos and stuff, but you can obviously get massage for about 200,000 dong, which works out about $8. So it's not the cheapest, but to be honest, compared to Thailand, it's around the same price. Thailand now is about $8 as well, so they're quite comparable. You can also rent motorbikes for 60 to 80,000 dong per day, which works out around $2.50 per day to $3. So it's actually really good. You can also get cars if you want. You can see there's quite a few people getting them here. So when it comes to internet, most hotels and Airbnbs, they have good Wi-Fi. But if you do want a SIM card and you can tether your phone, you can go and buy one here at Vinaphone. There is VTL, but Vinaphone have kind of taken over as the better one now, especially in the cities. They seem to have a better signal. It's a bit weird. I paid $12 at the airport for a 30-day SIM, and that gives me 6 gigabytes a day of data. So it's not unlimited, but 6 gigabytes is quite a lot per day. When it comes to money here in Hoi An, there are ATMs everywhere. You can take only about 5 million dong out, which works out around $200, which is quite frustrating because obviously they do charge you. Charges here are not bad. It's $3 to $4 I found per transaction. But so it doesn't really matter which one you go for. They're all about the same charges, but you can only take $200 out at a time. When it comes to changing money, there aren't any money exchange, but a lot of the shops, especially like jewelry shops and gift shops, they have money exchange. They'll give you a pretty good exchange rate. Normally they'll give you around 25, which is pretty much the going rate. So the exchange rates are pretty good. It might cost you $1 or $2, but it's really worth it. When it comes to healthcare here in Hoi An, there are pop-up pharmacies everywhere, and most of them do speak reasonable English. They seem to have most of the medicines you want, but certainly go for a bigger one. This is quite small, so it depends on what you're trying to buy. One of the hardest things to buy, things like Band-Aid, you have after specific brands, you know, decent plasters, that can be quite hard to get hold of. In terms of hospitals, there is a hospital here, but the better ones are in Da Nang, which is only 21 kilometers away. And so if you need medical care, probably head to Da Nang would be the best choice.
As a budget nomad nowadays, I embark on my wildest ventures with confidence. Introducing Safety Wings, your shield against the unexpected. Whether you're hiking, surfing, exploring cities, Safety Wings has you covered. Travel fearless with Safety Wings. Get insured today. Click on the link below.
When it comes to transport here in Hoi An, one of the best places to come is here, Style Motorbikes. You can rent bikes, you can also buy them. They're pretty cheap, it's got quite a good reputation. So I think if you want to come somewhere that's really good to do this kind of thing, rent a bike or buy one, come here. As I say, you get good quality. The other way to get about, you can hire these bikes. They cost about 50,000, which is about $2 a day. You can rent bikes in many places. Really not that difficult. A lot of hotels actually offer them for free. It just depends where you stop in. Okay guys, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please remember to subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification button, and I'll see you next time.